rappers and music producers, nobody owes you shit. Let's talk about it. Rappers and music producers, if you've been watching the Curtspirations for some time now, you may see a theme occurring every Friday where it seems that I'm becoming a little bit more confrontational. It seems that those that are got the little panties in a twist are starting to show up in the comments, and this is the day that you get to be emotional. By all means, come in, be emotional, let's talk it out. Sometimes you need, that older brother or brother figure that shakes you up and lets you stop believing the lies that you've been believing. That's what Fridays is finna be now. These Curtspirations is that Real Talk Fridays. Today we talking about the disgusting but very human emotion of entitlement. It's that person who says, I show people support all the time on my social media. Why don't y'all, I deserve support. I should be getting more support. I retweeted 4 rappers from my area, and that should mean that I get 44 retweets because I'm so supportive. Not understanding that support is not built off the basis of what you deserve from other people. Support is all about what you do for other people, because that's what you wanted to do. There's a big problem when it comes to specifically my generation and then the younger generation after us, because I got to take responsibility. Whatever happens with the next generation is partly our fault, or it's partly our win, or we can champion. But I think that especially in hip hop, there is a prevalent sense of entitlement that says all music should sound like how I want it to sound. If I've been rapping for this amount of time, I should be as great as anybody else within the industry. I've been putting my beats up on Airbit or BeatStars, and I had it up there for 2 years. I should be selling more beats than anybody else on the website because my beats are tighter than anybody else's. You sound like a dick. And you gotta sometimes, like, I understand the need for confidence. I even understand the need for a drop of arrogance. And honestly, as I'm doing this video, I'm like, the people who are really like this, I may even tell you, don't even change, because we need you in the ecosystem. But for those of you that feel the need to want to change, those of you that feel like, you know what, this is not me. This is not who I want to be. For those of you out there that's like that, keep tuning in. For those of you who are just like, I don't care, cool. Do you, because if not for you, everybody would be like me, and I don't want that. That would be a boring world. That would be a chaotic world. I don't want everybody to be like me. With that being said, for those of you that go around feeling like that because you invested a certain amount of time, because you apply brute force, here's the truth about it. Nobody gives a damn how long you've been working on something. Nobody gives a damn how many hours it took you to make a beat. In that first 15 to 20 seconds, you still getting judged as if you worked on it for an hour, you worked on it for 5 minutes, you worked on it for 5 hours. Nobody cares except for you. Those are linear notes that nobody cares for except for you, right? Now, there may be people who are your peers who are like, man, that's crazy that it took you that long, but nobody cares. When it comes down to it, think about 20, 30 years from now. Nobody is going to care how long it took Dre to make his beats. And we know Dre takes a long time to make his music, right? Nobody's going to care about that as much as they're going to, I shouldn't say nobody, but the majority of people are going to care more about the accomplishments that did occur, about the music that did happen, more so than how long it took for it to actually happen. All these stats and things that we focus on that we think are like badges of honor, they're badges of honor for yourself. But have you ever seen a soldier that has a Purple Heart that goes around and pokes it around at people? Have you ever seen their demeanor, right? I haven't met every Purple Heart soldier, but I've seen demeanors within them that say, I was doing this was my job. This is what I was supposed to do. I signed up for this, right? And I went to war for something that I believe in. There's a certain level of humility. How is it that they have this level of humility, but Johnny from South Dakota, who just started rapping and putting music on SoundCloud, feels like he should be more popping than Lil Yachty because he not with that fake rap stuff, and he been rapping longer, and he's into that real stuff from like the 90s and the gold. What are you entitled for? Nobody deserves you nothing. You don't deserve nothing. You don't deserve nothing except for what you work for. You don't deserve nothing. Even beyond that, when you are sitting together, when you're sitting there putting together your works of art, your albums, what are you really doing it for? I love so many things that Brother Russ has to say, the rapper Russ. I love so many things he has to say, but then it starts to look like the victory lap of somebody who didn't think they were going to make it. It starts to look like after a while of all this braggadocious behavior and all of this, yeah, I told y'all, it sounds like somebody who feels like they're not truly winning. Because when you're winning, you're too busy winning. You don't worry about what's going on, like who slept on you. That you might breathe that in, because we're human. You might breathe that attitude in for a second. But then what happens is you never change the mentality that ultimately helped you get to where you're at. At some point in time, you had to get so many no's that you humbled yourself. That you said, okay, I got work to do. However, I got work to do, but I'm gonna make all these people who said no, they're gonna pay. That's cool. It'll drive you to a certain level, but then even he's gonna reach it. He's gonna reach a checkpoint. He's gonna reach a threshold, not even checkpoint, a threshold that's gonna say, until you stop this behavior, until you stop this arrogance, until you stop this entitlement, you're going to stop right here. And I don't say that as somebody who knows who he is. I don't know him. He don't know me either. But I say that there's somebody who I see the mentality in him, and I see it in so many artists around. He's like literally the mascot of those type of artists who feel like I've been putting in the work. I've been doing this. And talk your ish. Talk your stuff. You've been doing your work. But after doing your work, so what? And that's a question I ask myself no matter what I accomplish. That's why you can see me put 2 albums out and they both go number 4 in the charts. Cool, so what? Now what? Okay, put this book together. Cool, so what? Now what? Because the thing about it is, our lives are not supposed to be achievement driven, but that's the society we're in. That's the genre we're in. We're told if we don't win a Grammy, somehow that makes us an artistic failure. That makes no sense. Something that didn't exist before music was around, now that represents our artistic failure. We're no longer validated by whom and what. So my suggestion to those of you out there, especially those of you who are on this, I support everybody, so you should support me too. People can feel you and smell your thirst a mile away. They can smell when, you ever had somebody who wants a favor from you, or somebody that you don't really rock with, somebody whose energy is just off and they want to always offer you free stuff? I've been there with somebody who I'm just like, you know what? I'm not really rocking with you on any level. You surely ain't getting my money. And you know what? I don't even want to take nothing free from you, because I know there's something attached to that particular free price tag. And, you don't want to be energetically that person. You don't want to be that person that people feel like he's only supporting me because he wants me to support him. And on paper, that sounds like that's not such a bad thing, but that's not what the foundation of support is built upon. Support is built upon, look, I love what you're doing. I want to share what you are doing with a broader audience. I want to share it with my particular audience. I want to show off your skill set to these people. It is not an exchange situation. Unless you arrange that with that person, it is not an exchange situation. Y'all are not on the same team. So if you choose to support somebody, that is your decision. Stop feeling like you are entitled to support. You're not entitled to support. You're not entitled to somebody's money. You're not entitled to somebody's plays, somebody's ears. You're especially not entitled to somebody's time. But yet there's so many artists that walk around feeling like, oh, this person snubbed me. Okay, okay, watch when I come up. I'm finna, for what? Now you're living your career for somebody that didn't even exist when you decided to do this. Now you're living your career competing with somebody who doesn't even realize you guys are racing with one another. Like the analogy I used about the racing earlier in the other video, you got this guy who got his headphones in, he's just jamming out to his music, running down the road, and here you come steaming down. You got your hair all over your eyes, you're sweating, you're stinky, you're mad, you're aggressive, and you running fast as you can to catch up with him. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with you? And you're like, oh, you slept on me. And he's looking at you like, are we racing? I didn't even know it. Well, this is the end of my destination. Bye. That's one of the things that I became so excited about once I decided to leave rap. When I decided to leave rap, what I knew that I was really leaving is that I said in a podcast episode, there's a lot of rappers I think that I would be great friends with. I think they would be awesome individuals had it not been for the magnifying glass that hip hop puts on our entitlement, the magnifying glass that it puts on, our need for competition and to outdo one another. I think we will be really good friends. But because of this pursuit of what they don't even have the same pursuit of what I want, but we think we're pursuing the same thing, it sort of brings this passive aggressive energy towards you. The moment I decided to put my hands out and I said, nope, I ain't rapping. I haven't been sending no beats to Absol. So now what you want to be cool with me for? Because it ain't for what you can get from me. What you gonna get from me? I'm not sending no beats. Now what? Then you start seeing people dwindle off and go to the next person. It gave me such a relief once I realized that there are people who are literally vying for your attention, vying for your energy that won't even show up to your funeral. Do you know 60% of people will leave your funeral? Even people who show up, they'll leave your funeral if it starts raining. They won't even go to the burial. Crazy, right? So we exert so much energy for people in our lives, and we expect people to give us anything. I was talking to my wife this morning. I was like, I understand why a Jay-Z would need a couple of degrees of separation between you and contacting him. I know there's probably millions of people who want to leech his energy, leech his resources, leech anything they can get from him. But he says, you know what? There's degrees of separation. You gotta talk to my secretary to get to me. It ain't because he's a jerk. It's because there's a lot of energy drainers out there. There's a lot of entitlement out there of people who feel like because I'm in the same room with you, because I support you, because I like you, that they're entitled to anything. You ain't entitled to nothing. You're not even entitled to the next air you getting ready to breathe. All of this is a blessing. And when you start to realize that you are not owed anything, when you start to realize that the blessing that you have around you are literally you're in debt to, and that you should be humbled by this experience called life, you'll start to change your ways. Once again, it's another Curtspiration. Doodle, you need some more of this juice? Please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. For those of you giving great suggestions, go to CurtisKingBeats.com with great suggestions. CurtisKingBeats.com/Curtspiration. Put your suggestion in or hit a thumbs up on one of the suggestions. We'll get to that topic as soon as possible. Coming back to the topic at hand, the prosperous hip hop producer, the story about my journey. What you'll understand is that there was a lot of times that I had to eat some humble pie. There's a lot of times I had to take an L, shut up, and keep working. And it wasn't in spite of anybody. It was the fact that I had to do that to get the job done. And for you, those of you who are out there who are bordering the fence of entitlement, sit your tail down, get the job done, plan this out. Stop worrying about what people won't do for you. Stop worrying about what they have done to you, and realize that this is going to directly result in your success if you choose it to be. Anytime in your life, you're either at the beginning, anytime something crazy happens to you, you either view it as the beginning or the ending. But it's up to you what you decide that to be. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com. I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability. Cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.